Ever since Skyrim was released in 2011, I've wanted to make a video discussing the flaws with its combat. Of course, at the time everyone was fanboying over how it's the greatest game to grace mankind, and if I had released a video discussing this content back then, it would have been torn to shreds. So now that everyone's starting to get a bit more critical of the series, I'm going to dive in and discuss all the issues with Skyrim's combat. Perhaps the first issue with Skyrim's combat is that melee is neither fun to play with or against. There's a reason everyone drifts towards being a stealth archer besides its overpoweredness. Bethesda still hasn't figured out how to use this one neat trick that doctors hate, that's been around ever since Star Wars and Pong. It's a little something called a hitbox. Adding a hurtbox is a super simple thing to do, it only takes like 30 seconds of work. And yet, once you've added one, it makes every attack in the game completely unique. They have to be dealt with in unique ways, purely due to how the animation flows. Bang, simple. Why is it so hard, Bethesda? You can even cut off an enemy's tail due to the power of hitboxes. The weird phantom range of Skyrim will be no more, and you can make the game immensely more fun by having enemies be forced to commit to attacks. But there's something else. Something much more important that Skyrim neglects, and that's hit reaction. I have a simple suggestion, Bethesda. When the player gets hit, shake the camera and knock the player back a bit. In third person, use the system I'm about to suggest for NPCs. For NPCs, if they're wearing light armor, when they get hit, they should be interrupted and stunned. When wearing heavy armor, getting hit by a light weapon will cause the part of their body that gets hit to flinch, but they won't be interrupted or anything. But if they are hit by a heavy weapon, they will get stunned. It's also not a bad idea to include camera shake and to briefly pause the game when the player lands a hit to make things a little more impactful too. Also, to make combat faster and more fun, make stamina more fluid. When the player attacks, they should lose stamina no matter the attack that they do, but if a player isn't attacking, blocking or dodging, their stamina can regenerate in under a second. Make stamina-centric potions centered around the speed stamina comes back, or the amount of stamina the player has, and you're in for a treat. Another concept is to make blocking and dodging more important. Currently, if you block an attack, you still take a lot of damage, no matter how high your blocking skill and perks are. And the solution to this is super easy. Just make blocking 100% block damage, but you take stamina damage instead, and the amount of stamina damage you take is based on your perks and skill. Another idea is to remove the light armor skill tree and replace it with acrobatics. Bring back dodging and give the player invulnerability frames while dodging. Make their dodge be dependent on your current perks. Hell, bring back climbing too. Everyone does it anyway, it's just weird looking now. The last thing to change is power attacks. As it stands, power attacks are bloody useless. They're just a slower, higher damage attack that costs stamina. An easy way to fix it, you hold attack to repair your power attack, and when you release, you do something special. With thrusting weapons, you could lunge forwards. With katanas, you could unleash some massively ranged, multi-hitting cut. And with daggers, you can throw a dagger and pull a new one out of thin air. Legendary weapons could even have unique and more powerful ones, and all of these could consume mana for the sake of balance. Anyway, that's all I have to say on melee. Let's move on to magic.